welcome on Visit Uganda Tourism Forum.
Thank you, Mr. Charles.
The whole world is watching you.
Thank you very much.
Say hello.
Hello viewers, hello Solis, hello Visit Uganda. Thank you for this forum. You're welcome to Super Paradise Hotel. We are located in Mengo, along Sir Albert Cook Road, opposite Ubiri SS.
Sure. We shall come back to you in a few, Mr. Francis. Professor Ndebesa, the world is watching you. Can you say hello?
Hello, the viewers out there. Glad to be here before you to exchange ideas about this strategic sector of the economy, tourism, which is highly potential in this Republic of Uganda, but maybe needs much more in respect of development. And the development, I am told, where it originated, the word etymologically comes from the French language. To develop is to unwrap or roll over, to unwrap something that has been wrapped like an envelope. When you wrap it, then you see what is inside and you develop the potential. So me and you, we are going to see how to unwrap the tourism potential in Uganda, and as I've pointed out, because among others, it is one of the strategic sectors of Uganda's economy.
Thank you very much, Comrade Professor Ndebesa. May I request you, Comrade Michael Kananura, to say hello to the viewers?
Yeah, thank you, our host this evening. To our viewers out there, a good evening to everyone. Superintendent of Police Michael Kananura, and I'm the Community Liaison Officer for the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety. I also double as the Public Relations Officer. I'm glad to be here to have joined these great men and to discuss the Uganda's hidden wealth through tourism. And as we shall be moving on or seeing, how do we come in as traffic police?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Kananura. Ebitiibwa bibagambye sijja biddamu. Mujja kwebuuza ate abasirikale bayingira batya mu byobulambuzi gye tulaga mujja kutegeera. Era traffic police kubadde kuyayaana kwaffe okubeera kitundu ku Visit Uganda. Eggulo twabadde tulina live ze tuliko nga tugamba abantu nti ebimu ku bitawaanya abalambuzi, Mr. Kananura,
yes, sir.
Ebyentambula oba omugotteko infrastructures ezo oba transport infrastructure bwe ziba nga teziri organized, teziri coordinated, kirina engeri gye kitukosaamu mu byobulambuzi. Naye erimwe abalabi baffe aba Visit Uganda Tourism Forum tonight, omulamwa gwaffe olwaleero twagala tulabe ebyobugagga ebikwekeddwa mu byobulambuzi. Literally meaning the hidden treasure, the hidden wealth in tourism. How can we make wealth? How can we make riches? How can we unveil the hidden wealth in tourism? Awe twagala tutambulire. Era tujja kulaba poliisi ey'ebidduka oba traffic police eyingira etya mu nsonga eno. As we move forward, let me request Mr. Francis Mujomba to take on the floor. We are looking at the hidden wealth in tourism. You in hospitality.
We have provided accommodation facilities which are different categories to fit all kind of people, to fit budget clients, to fit the community and international clients. We, since tourism is an experience, we try to culture it to be able to comfort everyone. We have cultivated menus from the local to your Luombo. Yeah,
Okay.
you'll be able to get your pizza, you'll be able to get ice cream, you'll be able to get special teas and special coffees. This, in the tourism industry, is also developing Kabaga Palace near the Kasumi Tombs, and we are on the highway to next city, which is Masaka, Mbarara, then border to Tanzania via Mtukula, border to Rwanda, then on your way to the national parks.
Sure.
So we are very strategically located. You can have your night here as you proceed, or when you come from the park, you can stay here and then you wake up the next day when there's no traffic. We provided all the facilities needed. In the rooms, you are able to get fresh water, hot water, cold water, Wi-Fi. We have other facilities like sauna, steam, gym. So when you come here, you get massage. So when you come here, you get your accommodation and you relax properly. We are cultivating local walk tours within the area, so that we can make people be more comfortable when they are here. We have also fitness activities within the facility. So when you are here, you can do your party, you can do your fitness, you can wine and dine. From here, you can also proceed to the parks. We are partnered with the tour companies, several tour companies, so you can craft your journey from here to the park. And you can book us anywhere in the world, from anywhere in the world, because this is the digital world. The digital world is the way to go. So you can book with us from anywhere in the world, direct. And we have put swift payment systems. You can use your card, you can use your Momo, you can use your Airtel, yeah. And our check-in is express, paperless. Thank you very much.
Well, I was telling some people out there that Mr. Mujomba is one of the most experienced and long-serving hospitality personnel we have in Uganda. I think I'm right. Uganda'S Hotel. Let's take hospitality at Geno. When you look at the hospitality sector in Uganda, do you think it contributes enough to the tourism sector in this country?
Yeah, tourism industry is contributing, but we still have more. We still have more to do, especially in local tourism. In local tourism, we need to enhance more. We are drawing packages from this hotel to visit the parks, which we will do with other tour companies. And we encourage more hotels to do the same. One, it makes the people also to enjoy tourism, not only tourists from abroad to enjoy it, but also Ugandans and East Africans and Africans in general. We don't leave it for tourists only. Yeah. We also need to develop it for the schools. We are drawing school packages. We are already discussing with them. So once they are ready, we'll put them out. We'll advertise.
Some of these big hotels are considering foreign tourists. They don't consider local tourists. I mean, when you look at the rates, the charges in these big 5-3 2-star hotels, it's really not accommodative to local tourists. Are you considering only foreign tourists?
No, as we consider local tourists, local community, and international. That is why we have, like in our room category, we have 3 categories. We start from 120,000 Uganda shillings up to 285,000 Uganda shillings, so that we are able to accommodate all of us.
Professor Ndebesa, there is a lot of hidden wealth in Uganda tourism. What do you think should be done by who to unveil or to unwrap this hidden wealth?
Thank you for that question. As I said earlier on, development is about unwrapping. Like you unwrap an envelope, and that's when you see what is inside. So development is about unwrapping the potential that you have. Now, tourism, Uganda has got a vast range of tourist potentials. The viewers out there may want to know that Uganda is in the Great Lakes region of Africa, but the River Nile, which more or less originates from Uganda and the falls on the River Nile. We do have many mountains in Uganda, mountains of the moon where you have snow at the same time on the equator. Uganda is on the equator. The viewer out there may want to know that there are only, I think, 11 countries in the whole world that are on the equator. And Uganda is one of them. And more interestingly, Uganda is almost dissected halfway. The equator passes in the middle of Uganda. That is in as far as geography, climate is concerned and nature tourism. But we have also a vast potential of cultural and heritage tourism. Uganda is one of the ancient societies on the continent of Africa. The ancient kingdoms of Uganda are well recorded and are known, but also there are certain heritage sites in terms of rocks, in terms of Uganda, by the way, is also has the Rift Valley and all the geographical features associated with volcanic activities, hot springs, a big potential of beaches. But your question was, how can we unwrap this potential? Because it's not enough to have the potential when that potential is not unwrapped.
Or translated into monetary values.
Is not developed for not only monetary values, because tourism can promote and preserve culture. It can also provide employment. It can also promote intercultural understanding and intercultural communication throughout the world. It has got a lot of potential that needs to be unwrapped. But we are living in the knowledge age. And therefore, in the knowledge age, one of the tools for unwrapping this potential is definitely education.
Yes.
Both academic education and public education. Education to first of all identify these potentials and then use skills of education to market these potentials, but also to modify on some of these potentials, but also to use that technology and that public education to show this potential and how it can be accessed and how people can, by and large, feel comfortable, because tourism is about pleasure. It is about leaving your place and finding a home away from home. And Uganda can provide that one, but it needs to be developed through the education system, both formal and informal, academic and non-academic education. And therefore, that's why tourism need, the state and the private sector need to invest a lot in the development of this very strategic potential of tourism in Uganda.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. Comrade Kananura, njagala nnyo omulimu munene oba entambula ekola omulimu munene nnyo okupromotinga oba okuyitimusa ebyobulambuzi mu ggwanga lyonna si Uganda yokka. Era bw'otunuulira amawanga agakulaakulana mu byobulambuzi, ebyentambula zaabyo biba birungi, biba bitegeke, biba bisengeke. Kituufu. Mwe nga traffic police mulaba nga mukoze ekimala okubanga mutereeza ebyentambula mu Uganda okusobola okwagazisa abantu kuba tourism esookera mu kibuga Kampala. Ate kati nga ffe Uganda abalambuzi bava Entebbe basookera Kampala ne balyoka ba spreading ebitundu bya Uganda ebyobulambuzi. Naye ate Kampala ate yo yayonoonese nnyo. Aba boda boda bavugira mu kkubo wakati, bapakinga mu kkubo wakati, bavuga one way. Mukoze ekimala era temulowooza nti nno entambula ye Uganda etali nteeketeeke bulungi etiisizza abalambuzi okujja mu Uganda?
Webale nnyo omutestes owa program eno, ate ndi musanyufu nti program bweti ezze okulaba different stakeholders or partners coming together okulaba nti ebyobulamuzi ebyeggwanga lyaffe Uganda tubikulaakulanya tutya. Buli muntu alina omulimu gw'alina okukola ate okulaba nti ekintu kino kitambudde bulungi. Profesa wano abadde atugamba ebintu ebingi ebyo ebyekwese ebyobugagga ebirungi ennyo eri mu ggwanga lyaffe, ate ebyo nti kituufu byo weebiri. Tulina landscapes ennungi ennyo, wildlife, ebintu bingi. Naye kati njagala kutegeeza abantu nti bwe tutaberanga omwanjuzi wa programu mukulu Charles nga bw'okitadde nti bwe tutaba n'ebyentambula birungi ku nguudo era teri kyamaanyi tusobola okwachivinga. Kati ffe nga ffe traffic police kituufu, we are on the forefront to ensure that our roads are safe. So mulimu ki gwe tulina okukola oba mulimu ki gwe tukozeeko okulaba nti enguudo zaffe nungi? Programu eno nungi nnyo nti buli muntu emuleeta on board okulaba mulimu ki gwakola okulaba nti ebintu byaffe ebyobulambuzi mu ggwanga bikulaakulanye. Ow'ebyenguudo oluguudo wa road safety, aba hotels mu balaba n'abalala abagenda okuba nga batwegattako ndowooza nga omwanjuzi wa programu bw'okyogeddeko. Njagala kusooka kutegeeza abantu nti ekyokulabirako mukulu Charles obw'otuula oli aina let's say chimpanzee somewhere well looked after, erinze abalambuze okugiraba. Kati gwe n'otuula n'osaafinga n'olaba nti yes it is in Kisoro, I'm supposed to move to Kisoro. The first thing is how safe am I on the road?
On the road.
Now, if the roads are not safe, that you cannot move, number one, it means that tourism is also affected. Tosobola okubanga otambula okugenda Kisoro. Kati kitegeeza nti no flying into the country from wherever you are coming from, let's say USA, you will not do what, you will not move. So meaning, njagala abantu bagezeeko okulaba nti ojja kusanga nti almost buli sector ebeera affected. Nti omuntu omu bw'akivaamu n'atakola ky'alina nga alina okukola, ojja kusanga nti kiba kiina ekirala kyekikosa mu industry yaffe eya tourism. So kisooka tojja kutambula, ekitegeeza nti ow'ebyentambula mu nnyonyi ajja kuba nga tafuna ki, talina kyafuna kubanga oli tatambudde. Omukwano wange Francis owa hoteli era naye tajja kufuna mugenyi gwagenda okusuuza kubanga atakoze ki, tatambudde. Lwaki? Olw'okuba nti kati nze ow'oku luguudo saakoze omulimu gwange bulungi oba bwe nandibadde nga nyina okukola ky'ogukola. Era kino kye tuzze nga tugamba mukulu omutesitesi wa programu ya leero nti ebintu bino byetaaga okukwatira wamu, systems approach, oba nti obutebengevu ku nguudo bubavunaanyizibwa bwa buli muntu. Olina ky'olina okukola kubanga at the end of it all ekivaamu kigasa oba kijja kuyamba eri eggwanga lyaffe okutwalira wamu. Eggwanga lyaffe okubeera n'ebyenkulakulana oba okubanga byeyongera ku the economy, to development of the economy of the country, really the roads or road safety, it has a lot contribution that it has to contribute to the same. So kati ffe nga aba traffic tulina okulaba nti enguudo zaffe zino ziri safe. Era bintu bingi nnyo mukulu Charles bye tugezaako okukola, sijja kulimba nti tutuuseeyo, naye we are trying to do something to ensure that our roads are safe. In as far as enforcement, okulaba nti tukola ebikwekweto ebyenjawulo okulaba nti tuleeta obutebenkevu ku nguudo, n'okutwala awamu n'okusomesa oba kye tuyita sensitization, okusomesa abantu ne tusomesa abantu ab'enjawulo omuli n'abo operators abazina emmotoka ezitambuza abalambuze, okulaba nti ebintu bino bikolebwa. Tusomesa bano abavuzi bazina emmotoka biki bye balina okukola, kubanga bw'ogenda okwetegereza ojja kusanga nti ebintu ebisinga eviirako buno obubenje beebo abantu abagenda ku nguudo n'ezo empisa ensiibufu oba ezitali nnungi oba enneeyisa etali nnungi gye bakolera ku luguudo. So okusomesa kuno okutuyamba nti it will improve or promote behavioral change among the drivers. So a lot of approaches when it comes to this. When we also look at the vehicles that transport our tourists here, they have to be inspected. And soon we are actually introducing the mandatory abantu naddala nti buli muntu alina omulimu, buli muntu alina kyalina okukola. Bwe tetuuleeyo n'osirika n'ogamba nze sirina mugaso, kati aba traffic bagende bakola omulimu gwabwe. Nedda, naye kati naawe agenze ku luguudo, bintu bingi birina okulaba. Ntudde emmotoka, omusipi guno ngutaddewo, ndi mu kuvuga omuntu ono gwe ntwala okulambula ekisolo. Speed zange yeah. And they have been dodging the drivers because they know where there is traffic, it's when they try to bwebagezaako okugoberera.
To cut you short, Comrade Kananura, you talked about KO road inspection. But when you look at Ugandan roads, those ebidduka ebisingako, they are DMCs. Ate DMCs zino mwanga aba traffic muziraba. Ebimotoka ebivundu, leero wali taxi, ebimotoka bivundu, kyekigambo kyensobola okwogera. Boda nvundu, abavuga boda bano tebalina bukugu, oli afubutuka eri mu kyalo, abamu bajja n'enjaga yaabwe ku mutwe, n'akwata boda, ne muyimiriza ne mwesigisa obulamu bwange. Ani avunaanyizibwa ku bimotoka bino bi DMC ebijjudde mu kibuga? Kuba majority y'ebimotoka bino ebifu zituyita DMCs ze zisinga ate ennamu obungi. Nezibayitako mwenga aba traffic ne muzireka ne zigenda ate ne mukwata zetulowooza nti ate zo zikyali yaddeko ate tulaba ze mukwata. What is the logic behind that?
Ekisooka nti oyinza okulaba walaba zino taxi ezisinga nga nkadde nnyo ku luguudo, tolowooza nti tetukola ebikwekweto ebikwata ezo emmotoka ziganyegenya ezibeera ku luguudo. Nedda, emmotoka ezo tuzikwata mukulu Charles. Ekyokulabako nti omwaka ogweddewo, omwaka gw'2024 twakwata emmotoka ezaali zenkana emitwalo 8.5.
Emitwalo
8.5 ezavugiranga ku luguudo naye nga zo zino tesaana okubanga zandibadde ku luguudo. So mu kugenda mu maaso n'okukwatira wamu ne patana zebaffe abalowa stakeholders, etulaba nti kino tekijja kumala ekyokukolesa abasirikale oba ne tukebera zino emmotoka manually, kubanga ekyamaanyi zino emmotoka twazikwatanga aginspectinga era abeera mu poliisi naye nga yasoma ebya mechanics yagyekebejja ate ne bagisindika mu garaji ne bagikola ne bagikomyawo n'addamu n'agikebera. So nolaba nti okukikola manually tekimala. So yensonga lwaki katuleese system eya automatic ate ndowooza mu gw'omusanvu guno omwaka ejja kubanga etandika. Nze kyensuubira nti kino kijja kutuyamba nnyo kubanga nga bw'okyogedde waliwo ebintu bingi awo eno system yegenda okubanga etuyamba. Oyinza okuba nga oyogedde ku ekyo emmotoka enkadde naye ate kati ne weerabira naye bano aguze wish naye ate n'agikola ambulance. So nga tewera okubeera ki, it is not fit really to be made an ambulance. Oba oli agenze n'aguze emmotoka ye n'agula emmotoka kamunye guno minibus ate n'agikola tuwali swat.
Abamu bakozesa zigundi zitukutuku za ambulance. Imagine.
So ebyo byonna eno system ejja kubanga etuyamba. These are going to be mandatory inspections and which are going to be done annually. For us, what we need, after doing that, we give you a certificate. Bw'otuuka ku muserikale, omulaga certificate n'amanya nti, okay, emmotoka yo eri worth being on the road, so genda maaso. So ebyo byonna tubina plan, ate bye tusula bijja kuba nga bituyamba okulaba nti enguudo zaffe
weewaawo tweyanza. Oli ku Visit Uganda Tourism Forum, tulambula Uganda, y'ensonga lwaki tuli ku mitimbagano gyonna ejja kavunula bivuunikiddwa. Okubanga naawe ali mu America, tulina mikwano gyaffe abali mu United States, tulina mikwano gyaffe abali mu United Kingdom, era batwotabuliro ssaawa zino. Uganda tugisitudde mu lubatu ne tugikasuka eri ensonda zonna ennya ez'ensi. Mr. Foreign Tourists, as we were, yensonga lwaki emmeeza eno egenda kujjula gye bujjakaawo, ate tuli mu kiseera agenda kuba atutwala mu bika by'emmere abalambuzi bye basinga okwettanira n'okusingira ddala bano abava emitala w'amayanja. You mentioned about Rolex. I think Rolex has become a tourist attraction in Uganda.
It is.
Surprisingly, you find it in Uganda Airlines. You take a flight in Uganda Airlines, they serve matoke, they serve Rolex. You talked about Luwombo. These are rare dish in different countries. Take us through the local dish.
Very true, Mr. Charles. In Uganda is rich, fresh, organic food, fruits, and vegetables. We have like the popular Rolex. Rolex these days, it has varieties. We have varieties of Rolex. Anywhere in the hotel and restaurant menus, there are variety of luombos. There's chicken luombo, there's beef luombo, goat luombo, fish luombo, and vegetarian luombo, which they make with mushroom. Yeah, we have all that varieties. We are able to make them in our restaurant and many other restaurants and hotels in Uganda.
We have, okay.
We also have the most popular, muchomo, roasted meat. Roasted meat is popular, especially our biggest day in Super Paradise for roasted meat is on Saturdays. We have live band, we have roasted goat, roasted chicken, jacket matoke. Yeah, yes, Mr. Charles.
Okay, back to you, Afande Kananura. I don't know why I'm so much inquisitive about borders and taxes in Uganda. What do you have in place to regulate these overwhelming reckless drivers? Because you've had e-ticket, you've had some of them arrested, you've done whatever possible in your means, like whatever you've done, but it's like the problem is increasing day and night. What are you going to do to regulate these reckless drivers and riders?
Yeah, thank you. We have a number of things in place to do, and when I talked of the e-ticketing is just set to start. It has not yet begun, but in very few weeks from now, e-ticketing will be beginning, and you realize that most of these people have been being reckless because they know no one has been seeing them. If you look at the traffic officers that we have in the country vis-a-vis the vehicles, so most of these people have been, they become reckless where they are not seeing traffic officers. So this time around we have them in our hands because once we have our cameras in place, different places, which are not known to motorists. They don't need to know where they are placed. But for you to be driving, as you start violating the traffic lights, you get home and you actually just see your message coming onto your phone. So we hope that these things, Mr. Charles, are going to really put these drivers or motorists online. because that is what they fear most. Otherwise, they have been driving, monitoring traffic officers, physical traffic officers. They would even know how to communicate. Where they are here, 1 kilometer ahead, you'll find them. Then when someone is approaching traffic officers, is the most disciplined person. And we have always really come out and talk to the public. Please look here. When we talk of road safety, it is a collective responsibility. Just like you have thought of how tourism needs different partners coming together and doing what they're supposed to do in order to promote tourism in our country. So in the same manner, road safety is not something that we have to leave to traffic officers or traffic police. But everyone, as a driver, this is your life. This is your life at the end of it all. When you sit into the vehicle, you have to put on a seat belt, because the seat belt will prevent you from dying or from getting injured. So once these things of e-ticketing commence, and the other one things of, I told you, of the mandatory inspections, we believe these things are going to help us a lot, but we are also putting much efforts and emphasis in education. Yeah, aiming at these drivers to sensitize them massively to promote behavioral change. I think we can come in and give a hand. All these things are being worked on, and hopefully we are going to see change on our roads.
But Mr. Moderator,
Yes, sir.
if I can chip in, if you don't mind.
Please do.
In your traffic plans, do you have a plan, or do you advise the ministry in charge of planning or in charge of works and infrastructure to think about public transport? I have not seen very many capitals in the world where there is no public transport. Uganda does not have public transport. You see, that's a structural policy problem which is not going to be solved by behavioral change unless you have a plan for having public transport like buses. Possibly where you have wide roads, they have their own lanes. And once the public transport is faster, is given its lanes and is faster, then many private individuals who have their cars may not put them on the road. They will use public transport, and that will reduce traffic congestion on the roads. But as long as you have those structural problems, behavioral change will not work, because necessity knows no law.
To add on that, Professor Ndebesa, Mr. Kananura, you said that you have carried out a nationwide campaign to impound border borders. So far, over 80,000 border borders have been impounded. And
what my friend Professor raised, you see, when we are here in Uganda, we have to really understand that we are in our country, Uganda, and this is what we have at the moment. So how best we fit within our means and our systems. We all know that public means, once they come in, they will solve a lot of issues, a lot of problems. You look at the jam that is around. I believe also that if maybe you can have like one bus taking people from one point to another, and then we don't have these other private vehicles, absolutely, we shall have less vehicles on the roads, hence no jam. However, the fact that we are not yet there, much as there are plans of getting there, but now that we are not yet there, what we bring on board, what we have to do to make sure that we live now within what we have or what we are, it has to be sensitization. Okay, and that's why we are doing this. That's why we are applying now what the mechanism we are trying to apply, because we all know, for example, if we are to have roads that accommodate all different road users, we have walkways, pedestrian walkways, we have cycling lanes, we have lanes that are only for trailers, lanes for buses. I mean, but now is a human being who can, I think, be talked to, that they cannot change their mindset. If he's a rider, he gets to know that these are roads designed for pedestrians. So can you leave only pedestrians to walk in here? Because as traffic police, like I told you, we cannot be everywhere. We cannot be everywhere. That's why you see in traffic lights, you'll see like a swarm of border borders violating, and you notice there are only 3 traffic officers standing. So will they leave what they are doing and jump onto these 100 border borders to arrest them? You cannot. So that's why I'm saying that we are also applying this other mechanism of sensitization. And I think which is also trying to help us, though it is moving at a slow pace, but with time we shall get there. When I get back to you that on the issue of the vehicles that are impounded, that are in a dangerous mechanical condition, emmotoka zino bwe tuzikwata tuba tusuubira bananyinizo okuzitwala mu magaraji ne bazikola mpaka lweziterera ne bazikomyawo. Tuyina abasirikale abakugu, so ne babikuwandiikira ku lupapula. So kati we expect you okugenda mu garaji ebintu ebyo n'obitereeza ate n'okomyawo ku re-inspection. So kyembadde
okakasa nti bye bagamba okukola
obikoze, kubanga n'abasirikale baffe abakugu abo bakebereza emmotoka si be banja ekiri awo. Naye ate ne nkugamba nti okukwatira awamu ba enkolagana yaffe n'eba Ministry of Works and Transport, ezo machines zakomyewo era mu July omwaka guno zijja kubanga zitandika okuinspectinga buli mmotoka oba buli kidduka kyonna ku luguudo at least buli mwaka neziweebwa certificate.
Bwe mubakwata ebidduka byabwe tewaliwo nsimbi za ssalira zalina okusasula okugyayo ekidduka kye. As a matter of fact, ekyo kyoyogedde nti balina okufuna ebbaluwa okuva ewa IOV ebalaga biki balina okutereeza, temubibawa. Bo bagenda wali nga bafunayo kitu kidogo ng'ajjayo piki ye oba ng'ajjayo ekidandali kya takisi ye ng'agenda kukuba ayongera okutta abantu. Balina omuwendo gw'ensimbi ogw'essalira oguli mu mateeka gwe balina okusasulayo okugyayo piki zaabwe nga zikwatiddwa oba emmotoka zaabwe nga zikwatiddwa. Kyamateeka okusasula ssente ezo oba abazisasula ne be bazisasula bakikola mu bumenyi bw'amateeka?
Weebale nnyo. Emmotoka zino bwe tuzikwata, buli bwe tugenda mu field okukola ebikwekweto, tukola ebikwekweto nga byanjawulo mukulu Charles. Tetukola kikwekweto kimu nti kino ky'emmotoka enkadde. Naye kati bwe tuba tukoze ekikwekweto ky'emmotoka ezo enkadde oba ezitali eziganyegenya oba the vehicles that are not roadworthy, DMCs, tuyina engassi gye tubawa ya mitwalo 600. Oba oli wa pikipiki oba oli wa mmotoka. Engassi eno gisasula mu banka n'otwala ekidduka kyo. Ate n'okikola n'okitereeza n'okomawo ne bakikebera ne basanga nga kiramu, naye ng'omaze okusasula eri engassi omukaaga guli
asasula
zeba mitwalo 600.
Asasula ezitawera 600 oba ezisuuka mu 600. Ekyo kiri mu bumenyi bw'amateeka.
Kati ekyo kiri mu bumenyi bw'amateeka. Kati ekyo kyenzijjako nti ekisooka nga poliisi y'ebidduka tuyina ttiimu gye tuyita alert squad oba compliance team. Omugaso gwayo okukwata bano abalya enguzi. So kati gwe bwe weekweka eyo emabega nga twegala bakola bino bakakasente okukwata n'omusirikale, kyekyo bamumenyi bw'amateeka. Era kyetusaba bulijjo Abannayuganda, abantu baffe abatuli tugenze maaso ne tukola ki ne tubayamba, kubanga abamu tumaje abantu tobamanyi. Sijja kugamba nti abatraffic bonna abalungi mubaamu ate abo abalala bagala kukola ebitali birungi. Kati abo betwagala, kubanga bwe tubanga tetubafunyeko information tetujja bategeera. Naye buli bwe tufunako information kyobola buli muntu kati bamuteeka bamuwa uniform ne bamuwa erinnya ekyokulabirako tusobola kugamba nti erinnya lyange tolimanyi. Ne twerabira nti bwe twogera ku nguzi awaddeyo naye aba mu bukyamu n'oyo afunye naye aba mu bukyamu.
Weewaawo tweyanziza nnyo. Lwaki Afande Kananura tumuyingiza mu bintu bino ebyobulambuzi? Tukimanyidde ddala bulungi nti singa ebyentambula biba bitabangufu mu ggwanga lyonna, ebyobulambuzi bijja kubeera wansi. Ebyokwerinda bwe biba nga tebitebenkedde mu ggwanga lyonna, abantu bano abalambuzi kutambuliramu nakyo kijja kuba safe okubanga kikutambuza okutwala mu bitundu bino ebyobulambuzi bye twogerako. Professor Ndebesa, let's talk about Karicho entertainment. I know you have a vast experience on that. In Uganda, we used to attract tourists through cultural performance. Unfortunately, today it is a different story. There is a lot of nude, there is a lot of fun entertainment, which I don't think it attracts them anymore. What kind of cultural performance do you think can make Uganda money?
Thank you for that. The viewers may also want to know, because here in Uganda we have largely been exploiting nature tourism, wildlife, game, mountains, and the people have more or less not focused on cultural tourism. But even in Europe, countries like Spain and the like, they have exploited cultural tourism, but of course, overlapping it and mixing it up with natural tourism, developing the tourist products and having a tourist trade that when a tourist comes, he or she gets many of each. You could go to the beach, like here in Uganda, we have the Busabara area, or Munyonyo area. You have a beach, that's beach tourism, which needs to be improved, by the way. As I pointed out earlier, we have many water bodies in Uganda, lakes, rivers, and others, where we can develop beach tourism, which is a very big industry in the Western world. But you add on cultural tourism, like in Munyonyo area there, and the Busabara area, you have traditional culture, traditional heritage. But in addition to that traditional heritage of traditions and cultures of Africans, we also have religious tourism. You can go and visit the sites of where the first missionaries arrived. You can go to different sites where there were martyrs, which is a very big tourist, religious tourism issue in Uganda. You have caves. Muslim, you can Baha'i. We have got a very beautiful Baha'i temple in Kampala. Those of you who have never gone there, you need to go there. Side. In the Kanyanya side, we do have Hindu temples in Kampala here, and very many traditional sites. The Nakaima trees, the Tanda pits, and other sites that people can visit. But I think they need to be developed.
And promoted.
Yeah, developed first, and then promoted, and then put in the tourist trades. So when you are marketing tourism, you don't have simply to say, you go to Chisoro to see the apes, the chimpanzees and the gorillas, but on the way to see chimpanzees, say in Chibari National Park, you tell them that you can also see how some traditional people dance. You can see heritage sites like the Mabereganyi Namwiru or the Tarakatites and whatever. You can go to hot springs. You can go to crater lakes. You can enjoy the farming around. So we need to have a tourist trade packaged very well. That's where knowledge comes in now, that there is need for more research so that we know much more about these different products. But besides knowing the products, we should also learn the behavior and the preferences of possible tourists. This is research. But even our people need to have customer care. This is a question of values. Let's also market our values, our traditional values, in such a manner that we express our hospitality so that people can come also and enjoy the traditional hospitality. But this is not learned by default. You have to put it in the school curriculum. In the school curriculum now, we are told there is competence-based curriculum. I hope the teachers are teaching competences of welcoming and providing customer care to different classes and strata of people, the elderly, the young, but also the foreigners, and which foreigners from which country, so that you avoid embarrassing. Somebody say is from the Arab world and you begin marketing pork. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. And also teaching our people not to express sometimes our tourists are moving in Kampala and they are being called mzungu, 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 mzungu. Sometimes they may feel embarrassed. So we need to, they make salt from soil and using traditional technology. So we have to see how to find a good balance between tradition and modernity. You don't stick to tradition because this is a person who is now a modern person, but a modern person would also like to experience traditions. So finding a balance and writing books, maybe pamphlets or whatever, and putting them online, and also knowledge. We need to also exploit knowledge because not much is known about Uganda. I think all disciplines must combine efforts. For example, people may be excited to come to Uganda because Uganda is in East Africa, around Lake Victoria, in the tropical Africa, where most probably the first man evolved, the Homo sapien. Before they traveled to Europe, to the other continents, it was here. What about marketing Uganda as the cradle of mankind? And then how that mankind has evolved over time. In terms of knowledge also, because to excite people to come, and even when they come, they don't need to use only their eyes. People who have done literature, who have done languages, they will tell you that you need to excite all the faculties of man. There is a sight, seeing, there is hearing, people we need to hear, there is tasting, the cuisine that the manager was talking about, here, there is feeling. I'm told even blind people, by the way, can be tourists and they enjoy even the national parks. So you exploit all disciplines, and these need to be coordinated. So are the people responsible for marketing Uganda, or in the Ministry of Tourism and the private sector, thinking about doing proper coordination, coordinating all these activities that unwrap this potential that Uganda has, and also find out the barriers, the possible barriers, like our traffic officer was talking about. That is one of the barriers to tourists or smooth transport in Kampala. I hope he will also tell us whether some of the senior government officials are not misbehaving and what they are going to do about them, because I see them misbehaving and disturbing us on the roads. And if we have to learn, we must learn from the big people. But if big people are misbehaving, what do you expect us, the small people, to behave? You know, it is actually government officials which are also breaking traffic rules. Not only traffic rules, some of them are more DMCs. They don't have even lights at night. You just go outside on the road and they are there. They should also be arrested. Or they should be reprimanded. But also Uganda government should should create a peaceful, harmonious environment, because one of the things that demarcate us are these violent crackdown on politicians, because nobody would want to come to a country where there is tear gas on the streets, supposing somebody meets gugus and finds those tear gas. So I think Uganda has got a very big potential, but we need to sit down. I am glad, Mr. Charles Kasumba, you are doing this, and you need more efforts to do this, so that we have got a meeting of the minds, because this is a very big potential for the economy, and which has got spread effects. It does not only benefit only people formerly in the tourism industry as such, because it has spread effects. Those who supply goods, those who supply food, those who supply, who market crafts, those who are employed in different ways, sometimes not known to the public. So I think this is an industry that is very central to the development of Uganda, and which needs a lot of efforts put in, and not just assuming. You know, in Africa, sometimes we assume that things work out themselves. No, you have to study the situation, analyze the situation critically, provide possible alternatives, provide answers to the problems, and again, make sure that these regulations, these policies are implemented, because we don't want a situation also where we come up with regulations, with instructions, with policies that either are not implemented or are not workable. Because I am fearful, by the way, our traffic fund here is talking about that strict inspection of vehicles. I hope we shall not have no vehicle on the road in Kampala, because if we strictly go by the rules of that certificate, we could go on the road and have no vehicle also on the road, because this is Uganda. But anyway, we have to avoid these accidents. We have to have rules on the road so that we do not have a bad image. Tourism is about image. So we need a good Uganda as a country. Each of these has its history, mythology, heritage, customs, crafts, and what have you. Each of these, and we have got those who have also come in this country. And if we package these ones very clearly, sometimes even recreating them. I don't know why the manager here cannot think of one day in a week having behind this hotel, you have some people who are making backcloth, so that people can come and see backcloth making in this big hotel. Why can't somebody in Kampala somewhere create iron working? Recreate iron working, have people who make iron in Kampala. Why can't somebody, an entrepreneur here, go to Chibiro? Chibiro is salt making place in Bunyoro, where they make salt out of soil. Soil, not lake, but from the soil. And the Africans had their own technology of making salt from soil. Having soil mixed with salt, and dissolve it in water, decant it, and make sure that sand gets out. I mean, you first heat it so that it dissolves properly. You decant it, you filter it, you remain with, soil remains up, you remain with soil that dissolved in, salt that dissolved in water. You heat the water, and you get back the salt, pure, more than that is in the factories. But of course, it may not be cost effective. It might be very hard to do than just going to the market and buy this industrial remote tourism, so that some of these tourists, sometimes people mistake tourists to be only those who come directly for pleasure. No, we have got research tourists. A researcher can come to Uganda, but while in Uganda, he also becomes a tourist. We have got education tourists, those who come for education. We have got business tourists. I mean, somebody has come on a business trip in Kampala for a conference, for a seminar, but in the evening, over the weekend, after the seminar, he also comes and visits certain sites. So we need to look at all these things, synthesize them, package them, and market Uganda, because I think that the tourism sector is the most potential sector that is not even, does not even depreciate. You see, this agriculture we are talking about has got certain limits, in the sense that the soils are getting exhausted. There are different nematodes and the other pesticides that attack the crops. There are standards that, high standards that are being required that we may not meet. So you find tourism could be an alternative to some of these traditional sectors of the economy, and we should take advantage of it and improve it and wrap it from the envelope and develop.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Ndebesa. Tuli ku Visit Uganda Tourism Forum. Tuli wano ku Super Paradise Hotel era nga bebamu ku bavujjirizi ba program eno. Njala kujjukiza nti Visit Uganda tutambula ne Super Paradise Hotel wane Mengo opposite Lubiri Secondary School. Tutambula ne Uganda Airlines abagamba nti gula tiketi ya Uganda Airlines obenga otambula amawanga gonna gye bagwa. Twabadde tulina okuba nabo wano naye tulaba akadde koolekedde baleka tebasobodde kuba naffe naye mu forum eddako tugenda kuba nabo. Uganda Airlines wiiki ewedde batongozza ate olugendo lwabwe olw'e London, Gatwick, London. Kale n'olwekyo gwe omutambuze otambula ku business, ogenda mu bulambuzi, ogenda kukyala, kozesa ennyonyi yaffe ya Uganda Airlines. Tugamba nti tuwagira byaffe nga n'amawanga malala bwe gawagira ebyabwe. Gula tiketi ya Uganda Airlines, abagitambuliddemu basobola okuwa obujulizi. Nnyonyi erina omulamwa weewaawo. Uganda Airlines batuteekamu, batusindika okusobola okwaka mu Visit Uganda. Ate era tutambula ne bannaffe ab'Amaganjo Green Millers. Maganjo Green Millers bagamba they feed nation, they feed nations. Kale gwe gula obuwunga obuugi, gula eŋŋano ya jiko ekolebwa ab'Amaganjo Green Millers, ate obenga oli emmere ezimba omubiri ng'ezimba n'obwongo bwo. Okitegedde? Tetukoma awo era tutambula ne bannaffe aba Victoria University. Victoria University bagamba you go when you're prepared to learn and you live when you're prepared to succeed. Victoria University ebyensoma babikyusizza, otuula kasimu kaako mu office yo, mu ddiiro ly'ewaka, mu dduuka lyo, mu motoka yo, wonna w'osinziira. Oyinza n'okuba ku flight yo ku nnyonyi ng'otambula n'okwata akasimu ne watendinga lecture. Otegedde? After year 2 or 3 bakulaba ku graduate nga ne beebuuza wasoma ddi, ne balowooza degree oginonye ku NASA ne munnaye nga wagisoma eri genuine. Kale nno ye Victoria University. Genda ku website yaabwe osobole okwenrollinga program eyo gy'oyagala okusoma. Abe tutambula nabo. Ndi ne afande Michael Kananura, ononga mwogezi wa police. Ndi ne Mr. Francis Mujomba, General Manager wa Super Paradise Hotel wano Emengo. Ate era ndi ne Professor Ndebesa, omukuba historian ab'amaanyi ate era nga political analyst. Kale nno abo bensobodde okuba nabo, abannaffe batetusobodde kutambula nabo. Tuli mu kutunuulira ebintu ebigatta etoffaali ku by'obulambuzi bya Uganda, ate era n'ebyo ebitukosa okulaba nga tufiirwa ssente nnyingi. Waliwo ebintu bingi nnyo ebitukosa nga Uganda. Ffe bannabyabulambuzi mbagamba bulijjo Uganda ngitambudde almost 75%. Uganda ngyetoolodde 75%. Kati ndi muntu omutuufu oba ndi omu ku bantu abatuufu asobola okugamba nti kino kitukosa mu by'obulambuzi. Ekyokulabirako tutera okugamba abantu nti ebimu ku byobulambuzi Rwanda byekolamu ssente ate byaffe bya wano ensolo ziva wano ne zigenda e Rwanda ne bazirambula emisana ekiro ne zikomawo ne zeebaka nga zikoledde Rwanda millions of dollars, you can imagine. Ffe ne tuviiramu awo naye ate nga n'ebimu era ebitukosa infrastructure z'amawanga ago zo nnungi, enguudo nkole n'ebirala era ensonga lwaki tulina afande Kananura mu program eno oba mu forum eno ekiro kya leero bali batereeza enguudo ez'omu bbanga. Eggulo nadda ngamba abantu nti mu Uganda omulambuzi ava ebweru kirina omutwalira ennaku 2 okuva Entebbe okutuuka ku Queen Elizabeth e Kasese. Olwo olunaku lulamba. Bw'aba tavuze ng'ayita ku expressway alina ng'akozesezza Old Entebbe Road kimukakatako okuvuga essaawa 3 ku 4 mu jjaamu okutuuka e Kampala, ate n'atwala essaawa 8 ku 9 okuva e Kampala okutuuka e Kasese. Lwe lunaku lulamba. N'ate ojja kusanga omulambuzi ng'agamba njala kulambulako Queen Elizabeth just one day, oba njala kulambula Uganda 1 day 2 days nzireyo. Kati olunaku agenze olunaku lumukomezzaawo, kati yeetaaga ennaku mmeka okulambula. N'atuula n'agamba abwe ninnya ennyonyi n'ensuula e Kanombe airport e Kigali nenvaawo nenfuna akanyonyi akagenda okunsuula ku game park oba zimuhavuura oba luddawa kijja kuntwalira less than 3 hours nga nvudde gye nvudde ntuuse ku airport nambudde ninnya ennyonyi enzizeeyo n'alekayo thousands of dollars. Kakati ffe ne tuviiramu awo. Kati ebyo ebintu bye twagala okutunuulira mu Visit Uganda ate tubikola tuli bakkakkamu nga tetulina muntu yenna gwe tukosa, tetulina muntu yenna gwe tukomerera. Ng'afande bw'abagambye nti buvunaanyizibwa bwange buvunaanyizibwa bwo okulaba nga tutumbula ekintu kino ffenna. Bw'avuga obubi ku luguudo omulambuzi, abantu abamu betuyitako ku nguudo kuno nga tuvuga piki zaffe, tuvuga emmotoka zaffe, obanga tutambuza ebigere, abamu ku bo bayinza okuba bakkala zaffe naye nga balambuzi. Yavudde Namibia aze kulambula Uganda, tumwetaaga. Black American aze Uganda, omulabanga munnayuganda munno ava eri ekiboga naye ng'ava mu United States, ava Bungereza muddugavu, ava Jamaica, ava Brazil, ava Nigeria, bannayuganda. Mikwano gyaffe abatulaba nga musinziira ku mitimbagano TikTok ate ne YouTube channel ku Visit Uganda tourism show mukola kyamaanyi. Abakulu bano nkyabalina nga twolekera ate okufundikira. Back to you, Professor. Let's talk about tourism promotion. Tourism promotion and of course the effects. You talked about the effects, but I think we need to exploit it more. For example, we've had some tourist attractions in Uganda, which has been demolished. For example, Mabira Forest. Mabira Forest is no more. We've had falls. We've had falls. Today, I think we no longer have them, like Bujagari Falls. We had Bujagari Falls, Karuma Falls, where power dams have been constructed there. Don't you think it is also costing us in terms of tourism?
Thank you for that. I mean, there must be development balances. Those who are planning for this country, they might think that power is more important than Bujagari Falls, which was submerged. There are those who think that Bujagari having remained like that, and instead we put maybe the power, these are democracy issues. Are we all involved? Are we all kweberamu? I hope
yes, that is
my
it.
God is still in nursery.
That is it.
Yeah, because we can give advice one day in one way or the other. I can give you an example. I haven't traveled Uganda Airlines since it was inaugurated. I don't know what is there, because other airlines where I have traveled, they have those magazines that you put inside,
yes,
which market their own countries.
yes.
I don't know how much Uganda Airlines is marketing Uganda, but I can tell you for sure that I'm one of those who are Ugandanist, a historian Ugandanist.
Yes.
I have not been interviewed by anybody to give some view about the heritage of Uganda. I have taught history of Uganda. I have taught cultural heritage. Those are the things we expect from there. When you go to the Entebbe airport, the first big, now I see there are the chimpanzees, but in the past, the first big signpost you would find there, it would be MTN and Airtel. You know, they are the ones that meet you. Surely, shouldn't we be marketing Rwenzori Mountains? Shouldn't we be marketing our traditional heritage, our crime, our features in Uganda? But you go there, you meet MTN, you meet Airtel, you meet these big companies. They are the ones that are being marketed there. I don't know whether they are not the ones being marketed within the airlines itself in those magazines, rather than marketing our potential. When we are manufacturing, some of the wrappings we use, the papers we wrap, should be having pictures to market Uganda, even Uganda coffee. Yeah, you will find the manager here serving coffee that is manufactured outside and leaving the Uganda coffee. It is not there.
But at least not with Super Paradise. You can feel it here.
I have not taken sugar. I have not taken coffee.
This is totally local.
But I think some hotels, you find there, those who are in government are the ones who understand. I remember one time government even wanted to destroy Uganda Museum. They had proposed that it would be the trade tower where Uganda Museum is situated. We had to fight, we who are heritage people, we had to fight tooth and nail to make sure that we stop that happening. That the museum would be given just one floor, the rest would be trade. I mean, you can't market tourism, you can't market a museum in a trade center. You cannot. We don't have district museums, or there are very few. We should be having district museums everywhere. So there should be a deliberate policy to promote this sector, and it should also be given enough budgetary allocation, and the budgetary allocation, of course, must do what it is supposed to do, not only for foreign tourists, by the way, even domestic tourists. We can even develop tourism having in mind another dimension, another function. I have talked to the Minister of Tourism before at a certain public gathering given. There is a notion in Uganda that Buganda and Bunyoro have always been at loggerheads. They have never collaborated, and that Buganda and Lango have always been at loggerheads just because Kabaka and Obote had that skirmish. But there should be a big monument. I'm told the Minister of Tourism is following it up somewhere in northern Uganda, in Apache, I think, where Kabalega, the king of Bunyoro, Mwanga, the king of Buganda, and the grandfather of Obote were fighting. And even there was a chief, which I think from Acholi, they were fighting colonialism together. They were together in that place. What if that monument was put up and it was marketed? Ugandans would want to see when, at one time, the Banyoro and the Baganda and the Rangi and the Acholi were together fighting colonialism. That would be marketing tourism in Uganda, a cultural tourism using that monuments. We should be having some monuments in Kampala reflecting our history and our heritage.
Yes.
I don't know that. Not only just going on TV and marketing a few animals and falls and whatever without giving this systematic trade of all this. So, ministry, I would challenge the Ministry of Tourism or the Tourism Board, Uganda Tourism Board, or indeed some private sector, to put together all different expertise, all different skills to market Uganda tourism. You have got historians, you have anthropologists, you have culturalists, you have people of nature, you have the political class, you have the crafts people, you have all different disciplines that can combine efforts to come up with a tourism strategy and a tourism package that can market Uganda, and Uganda can compete, because why should we be outcompeted by Kenya and Tanzania, for example? Because we have the savannah, as they have. We do have forests, they don't have them, because we have got some animals. French, which is an envelope is closed, so development to D, the prefix D means to remove, decolonize, remove colonialism. You get it? So develop is to unwrap, to make the envelope open. So why are we still keeping our potential in the envelope and opening small openings for a few things, when we could open this envelope and we develop this potential and develop this country, which would translate into the well-being and welfare of our people, provide employment, provide income, preserve our environment, and all other associated benefits that we can get from this strategic industry. But it needs planning, it needs intellectual input, it needs strategic thinking, but above all, it needs kweberamu. It needs everybody to come in and not to dismiss. I am glad that Charles has invited a traffic officer here, he has invited an academic here, has invited a hotelier here, because otherwise traditionally people thought that tourism is only those people from the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, that it is only about people from the ministry or those departments traditionally known as tourism institutions. No, we can develop this product from different angles. And I call upon those who are in charge, because none of us is a policy maker, unfortunately. We are policy consumers. We are supposed to, you can say, I asked the traffic, my colleague here, the traffic man, about what they are going to do about these ministers who misbehave on the roads and the other hangers on, who came up with solving very many problems when you have public transport in the Kampala city.
Wow, thank you very much, Professor. Tuchali ne Comrade Kananura Michael, Superintendent of Police, eranga yemwogezi wa polisi ebiduka mu ggwanga. Tuli ne Mr. Francis Mujomba, General Manager wa Super Paradise Hotel, eranga be bakatukyaza bino ebyokulya bye mulaba ebiflatinze ku gundi ku meza n'ebyokunywa bali emabega waabyo. Ate era tuli ne Professor Ndebesa munnabyafaayo, ate era omusunsuzi w'ensonga ez'ebyobufuzi. Nga political analyst bw'olaba ng'ayiseeko side eyo, kakati kitwale ize, kubanga era ekyo kimukakatako, naye nga tuli ku byabulambuzi. Twegattiddwako ate era omukungu okuva mu Chapa General Enterprise.
Bulambuzi is affected by politics.
Twegattiddwako omukungu omulala akiikiridde Chapa General Enterprise. Naye nga lubaale w'omulamu bw'atasamirirwa, era agenda kuba actual, ate era n'ebitiibwa byo n'oluvannyuma tutambule, tusigaze obudde butono nnyo w'otuukidde ddala nga abakulu bano baasudde dda emboozi Makerenda.
Nayanziza nnyo mutesitesi. Amaanyi bampita Dennis Kirangana, kitunzi okuva mu Chapa General Enterprises, abangi gye mumanyi nga Prestige Majories.
Abantu babuulire mukola ki ku Chapa General Enterprise, products ze mukola zonna, era tutandikira awo.
Aba Chapa General Enterprises fe abaleeta siyagi asigibwa ku mugaati gwe tuyita Prestige Margarine. Tuleeta ebintu ebyenjawulo muli sabuni ayoza, sabuni ayoza sabuni anaaba tulina ebintu bingi bikozesebwa mu kukola emigaati nga chapa mandash baking powder tulina fats aba bakinga
weewaawo tweyanziza nnyo bwana Dennis okuva mu Chapa General Enterprise byatukolera obutabalika 2.7 that is 2.7 trillion shilling era nga zicontributinga 4.7% GDP ya Uganda omwaka 2022 era tulabanga ebyobulambuzi byakuriye mu private sector oba abasuubuzi abatutumufu mu contributinga kinene nnyo ku byobulambuzi. Woteri eno wetuli emigaati gye tulya wano sumbuzi bannammwe bakoze
obulambuzi. Njagamba nti ffe nga Chapa gwe mundi baffe gusooka okuba nti tuyitibwa mu nteekateeka weziki oboolyawo kibakuba nti kyali kyatandika dda twandibadde nga tulina wetutuuse ku nsonga yokuba nti tutumbula ebyobulambuzi mu ggwanga. Mubitumbula mutya? Nkugambye nti wooteri zonna eziri mu ggwanga, resorts, ebifo ebyo ebisanyukirwamu, restaurants gye bafumba, musupplyingayo margarine, prestige margarine. Kyendowooza nti eryo nalyo toffaali ddene era mu contributinga kuba abalambuzi bano wano we balya, wano we basula, balya ne beebaka. Ettoffaali muli contributinga naye olowooza mukola ekimala era bwe muba temukola kimala kati toyogeranga Chapa naye oyogeranga abasuubuzi abali mu private sector. Mukola ekimala bwe mubanga temunnakola kimala mulowooza ki kye mwandibadde mukola ng'abasuubuzi nga private sector okubanga ebyobulambuzi by'eggwanga lyattu bisaasaana. Tukoze naye tetukoze kimala okuyambako tourism department okuba nti etukiza ebigendererwa nga bwe stated mu profile yaayo. Nze ndowooza kivudde kuba nti obulyawo tubadde tetutuukibwako mu ngeri emu oba endala. So nga bweyogere nti ebintu ebikozesebwa mu hotels ebisinga atagere kusumbusa ogikola olina okukozesa prestige margarine, baking powder yeetaagisibwa but then kibadde kiri hidden. Kati bwe tuvaayo nga tuvuddeyo olwaleero oba nga tuvuddeyo kati netwali okuba tutegeeza abantu nti ebintu ebikozesebwa mu hotels tubiinamu omukono kijja kuba kigenda wala nnyo okuba tutumbula ebyobulambuzi.
Tweyanziza Afande Kananura, bwe tuddayo era mu mwaka 2022 lwaki omwaka ogwo ngwesibako gwali mwaka muzibu tuva mu lockdown ebbiri ogwo omuggalo ogwo ogwaffecting ensi yonna tugezaako okusituka buto. Kigambibwa mu Uganda omwaka ogwo twafuna gwe wa byakwerinda gwe tulina ku panel olwaleero. Machas olipresentinga poliisi y'ebidduka naye ate olipresentinga n'obutebenkevu. Professor abadde ayogera nnyo ku gino emigga egikubwa abantu e Kampala ensangi zino ate nga mutuufu kuba bwe mba ndi mulambuzi nendaba emigga egyatokotta ekawempe ennaku ezo nendaba n'obuvuyo obulala obuzze bubeera mu Uganda sisobola kuleka Rwanda sisobola kuleka
ate n'okikola obulungi nze kinsanyusizza nti buli muntu ali represented okulaba ki kye tusobola okukola okusitula ebyobulambuzi mu ggwanga lyaffe. Kino kyokoze kitulaga nti buli muntu alina omulimu nga nze bwe mbagambye nti ewaffe mu road safety oba mu buteekevu ku nguudo buli muntu alina omulimu. So bwe tugamba nti nze kandekerera ono yaba alina okukikola awo obuzibu bwe butandikira. Abannayuganda batuuliriza nti Uganda ojja kwetegereza amakulu Charles nti Abannayuganda abasinga Bannayuganda naye ate nga abasinga tebenyumiriza mu ggwanga lyabwe
be basinga obungi.
Exactly, which is very wrong. So tujja kubeera wano ne tuwaanawaana amawanga amalala ate okirese bulungi n'otugamba nti the hidden treasures of Uganda, indeed they are hidden. Professor Naine engeri gy'abadde agezaako gireeta okireta engeri akitunyonnyoramu. They are hidden nti if you are not keen enough you may not observe. Yet Uganda tulina ebintu bingi naye ffe kennyini tetumaketinga eggwanga lyaffe ng'abantu. oba ebikolwa bye tukola abantu abamu ate ffe abalizaawa emabega. So ojja kwetegereza nze nafunako akakisa akatambulako eyitale kyokulabirako nti bwe twatuuka eyitale tekyamanyi guno omuti gwaziwo emyaka 10 balanga njagala mugulabe ate mu preserving. So I think mu kukola kino nga kyokoze, we need to extend these or education whatever of forums, and everyone is involved. Everyone is involved. If you are riding a boda oli muvuzi wa boda weetise omulambuze biki by'omugamba ku ggwanga lyo. You know, people have learned how to talk good about their countries. Mu mawanga malala teri kirala ekiri special okusinga eggwanga lyaffe kyebakola ekiri special. No, ekiriyo ekiri special ntwakuba nti boogera bulungi eri emwanga gaabwe. Bw'oyagala ku kino ekyabadde ku bululu owiika w'empe, it is not any special nti mu mawanga amalala tebibaayo, especially when they are like for maybe elections or some other incidences. Nayo zibaayo. Naye olw'okuba nti oluusi tebakola ki?
Yatokose nyeeka w'empe.
Ate kati naffe ne twerabira nti abo ate nabo abeeteze oba abakoze ebyo ate ebisoomooza abaki?
Abakuumattendo.
Exactly. It is only Uganda where you find a 1-inch picks a stone to throw it at a traffic officer.
Kyekiba kikolebwa ebintu ebyo obutaddamu bano abantu bano obuta behaving so chaotic, ate n'abakuumaddembe okubeera polite in their operations. Kuba buli kye tukola wano emirongooti gino gikasuka mu nsi yonna nga ssaawa zino bwe tuli, we are representing Uganda to the world. Omuntu ono ali mu America atulaba kati, abali mu Middle East, abali e Bungereza, abali mu Europe, kye balaba wano kye kisalawo either they're going to invest in Uganda, they're going to visit Uganda. Actually, what is happening between the Teriano, he's targeting those people. Aba witnessinga zino chaos zigenda mu maaso ne batya okujja. What is set in place to end this?
Ekisooka nga bwe nkugambye nti sanjagadde ontwale nnyo mu direction eyo, naye mukulu Charles, njagala tumanye nti buli gwe tukoma okulekerera ebyo bye twandibadde nga tulina okukola, kubanga kati oli wano you are blaming it on the security officers.
We are not blaming.
But then we are not blaming it on.
We are not blaming in this show. We are not blaming nobody.
Naye kati
we are trying to find
tetuli mu kwebuuza what provoked those people behave the way they behaved.
Exactly.
And I'm going forward, I'm saying we must all know what to do as citizens of this country. If you are ate gwe toleeta obutali mativu ate n'obuteeka kwani, actually that is in most cases what the security people are trying to fight. In most cases they are trying to protect Mujomba here because they are saying he deserves peace. So don't bring your over dissatisfaction or whatever, put it onto this one. No. So katife chuba tugezako okulaba nti buli muntu ali protected ate ali safe. So going forward, we have to do what we have to do. This is our country that we must all love and promote it in all areas. Okirese bulungi nga twogera ku tourism naye ate ne ku byentambula ku nguudo. Ojja kusanga ono mu drive oba mugoba w'emmotoka ali ne tourist naye ate byamugamba si bye birungi. Wasinkana traffic oluusi n'amubbiramu n'okumubbiramu nti alimba atwalira ssente ki n'atazituusa nayo. So I want to tell you, if we cannot stand and really speak to these generations and they change their attitude towards our country, we are doing nothing. This we have to do it. And I believe that if we are to change things or systems, it begins with you. You don't have to wait for the entire community. No, as long as we have a positive attitude, start it. I will follow. He will follow. He will follow. Our families will change. So I believe, to me, really, there is where we are getting it wrong. And we are thinking if it is tourism, it is tourism. Professor brought it in a very good way. Nagamba tuchirekerera tourism yemanyi. No, at the end of it all, if this money comes, it helps everyone. It is what will help us even to construct the roads. And you see, and now are you seeing how road safety is being improved because of tourism? Exactly. So how best do we help each other? Not again blaming it on, you see, where things ebizibu webitandikira okugamba oli aleeta obuzibu ndowooza bano aba trafiki bebayaaye bebatakola kyetamanyi okukola nedda kati gwagamba nti aba trafiki okozeewo kyo oli mukogole ekyo naye gwata respectinga speed limits ku luguudo naye still osigala ng'ogamba aba trafiki nedda buli muntu alina okukola kyalina okukola okulaba nti eggwanga lyaffe liteereddwa ku mutindo nga nze bwe nkugambye nti teri kyamaanyi ekiriso special nti ago amawanga gatuliraanya nga Rwanda bw'ogagera kye gakola ekyawukana ku Uganda naye abantu a person from Rwanda, you never find them speak ill about their country.
Yes,
never.
Right.
Yes, I gave you a good example of Italy. They will try to even market.
Police tera tuli ne Mr. Francis Mujomba oyonga ye manager w'ekifo kino era be bakatukyaza ebyokulya n'ebyokunywa zino ensozi ze mulaba tuseeteeza Super Paradise Hotel wane Mengo. Tuli ne Professor Ndebesa oyo nno mukenkufu okuva ku kasozi k'abayivu e Makerere ate era tuli ne Mwami Dennis mukulu Dennis okuva oba akiikiridde Chapa General Enterprise naye nga njala bategeeza Super Paradise Hotel be batusindika tusobole okukola emirimu gino. Uganda Airlines abo nabo bavujjirira program eno. Maganjo Grain Millers nabagambye abo they are feeding nations. Maganjo Grain Millers obuwunga obuugi soya starter entamu ewulira muliro gusooka guno obwana bwe mulaba obukonziba akana ne kayingira emyaka 2 nga kalinga ak'emyaka 8 muba mwabuliisa bubi nga bukula ate ne mukyewaanira mu ntya omwana akula bulungi tafaanana myaka naye yakonziba ebyaddala yafuuka nakalanga otegedde kakati mubaliise emmere ezimba omubiri bakule nga ddala balamu ate nga bagimu eyo emmere ekolebwa pa Maganjo Grain Millers wali emaganjo ku luguudo oludda ebbombo be bakolera n'eŋŋano ya jiko eŋŋano ya jiko mwe abalya chapati sumbusa abalya emmere yonna ekolebwa mu ŋŋano eŋŋano enakulya ya jiko ekolebwa aba Maganjo Grain Millers bagamba they are feeding nations. Uganda Airlines wiiki ewedde nabagambye balonkinze olugendo lwabwe oba flight zaabwe oba operations zaabwe mu kibuga London e Gatwick era nga okutandika na kuz'omwezi nga 18 teweetaaga kulinnya nnyonyi endala olina kulinnya Uganda Airlines nze ennyonyi gye ntambuliramu era abangoberera obutambi mbulaba ndowooza experience nungi tewali n'omu awakana ate naawe kozesa ennyonyi eyo ogenda Dubai ogenda Mumbai e India ate nammwe abagenda mu mawanga nga Nigeria n'amawanga agatwetoolodde wano Uganda Airlines they fly the crane to the Pearl of Africa ate era ne Victoria University nabo batuvujjirira okulaba nga program eno etambula. Victoria University babyanjigiriza babyansoma tokyetaaga genda kutuula mu lecture room noyonoona obudde n'ovuga traffic jam n'otuuka leeti ng'owunya bubi otuuyanye tuula in the comfort of your house in the comfort of your office tuula mu motoka yo tayo eddakiika 3-4 ku ssaawa ne bw'oba ovuga parking ebbali kwata akasimuko genda osome bajja kulaba after year 2 or 3 ng'ograduatinga nga beebuuza ono yasoma ddi naye nga bw'otyo bw'obadde osoma okitegedde abo nno be tutambula nabo okubanga tukuweereza program eno oba forum eno Visit Uganda twetooloola eggwanga lyonna tuli mu bifo bino ebyobulambuzi hotels resorts ate n'ebifo biri ebyobulambuzi kye tuyita nature tourism culture tourism eyo natutuukayo ate n'eno gye muliira ssente tulina obunyomero nga food basket mu project eno oba mu platform eno food basket yabyakulya yabyakunywa era mu abachapa General Enterprise I think you need to be part of food basket. We talk about food, local cuisine, local dish, local food. Buli ekiriibwa ekigenda mu lubuto. You got covered in the food basket segment. Ate era ne segments endala nga bwe tunaaba tuzibalaga era nga bwe muziraba mu abatugoberera. Manyi mulina ebibuuzo bingi nga tuwunzika program eno nja kusaba ebibuuzo byammwe mu bituwe ebibuuzo byonna ebibuuzo abantu bye batusindikiddeyo mu bituwe tubiweereza abakulu bano. Manyi Afande Kananura mulina ebibuuzo bingi bye mumubuuza okuva eri gye yabatandikidde naddala mu ababooda abatakisi abavuga mu nvuga etali ya buvunaanyizibwa mulina ebibuuzo. Kale bwe binaabaayo bajja kuba babituusaako. Ate era nammwe abalina omukyala Jennifer Bamutulaki nankulu wa Uganda Airlines tubadde tulina okuba naye tasobodde kubeera naffe. Tubadde tulina okubeera ne omwami Liaz Vianney oyo nga akiikirira Minister owa Tourism, ategeeza naye akadde kamukutte ng'ate era ali mu kukola mirimu gya ggwanga. Omukyala Lukundo Dorcas okuva mu UWA oba Uganda Wildlife Authority era naye tasobodde kuba naffe, ne mugenda kuba mubeera nabo. Ate n'abakukunavu bangi okuva mu private sector, ate n'abakulu abasensula ensonga nga Professor Ndebesa mpozi n'ab'ebyokwerinda nga tutambula na Fande Kananura n'abakulu abalala. Mulina ebibuuzo bingi, mulina concerns nnyingi bye mwetaaga okutegeera. Bino byonna bituyambako okulaba nga tutumbula ebyobulambuzi bye Uganda. Obulambuzi sigenda ku game park n'olaba ensolo, sigenda ku Bwindi Impenetrable Park n'olaba amazike, oba okulaba amabiro g'amazzi, oba ebyobulambuzi ensozi n'ebirala. Ebyobulambuzi bitandikire no wansi. Security eri etya, muvuga mutya, muvuga mubba ne mukanga abalambuzi baffe. Kakati kyetuva tukuleetera omukulu alungamya poliisi y'ebidduka n'aba nga akulungamya. Okuddayo katono eri muganda waffe akiikiridde Chapa, mulina promotion egenda mu maaso nga muddiza ku basiibi. Ne mulabika mwasosodde kuba abasiraamu ku luno ekisiibo kyakwataganye n'ekyabakristaayo. Abakristaayo naddala abakatoliki bali mu mwezi gwa Kalema bali mu kusiiba, actually n'abakristaayo abakatoliki bakristaayo n'abasiraamu basiiba bali mu Ramadan. Lwaki mwasazeewo kuwa basiraamu abasiibi abasiraamu bokka? Haji yakikoze atya ku luno?
Enteekateeka eyo sigamba twasosedde. Omwaka oguwedde tuzze tulikola mu phases. Omwaka oguwedde gwali gwa bannaffe bali abeezikiza ekikristo.
Mugenda mu balansinga.
So guno omwaka gwa 2025 bannaffe abayisiraamu
be balidde empanga. Products za Chapa General Enterprise zisangibwa ludda wa? Nsaba otulambululire mu bumpimpi. Olina akatale kansi yonna, zino kamera zikutunuddemu akatale kansi yonna. Abantu babuulire Chapa gyesangibwa, products zamwe gyezisangibwa, ate n'oluvannyuma obasiibule.
Chapa General Enterprises esangibwa mu Kikuubo ku Rafiki Building. Etusangibwa mu Kikuubo ku Rafiki Building tukutuusaako Prestige Majari, sabuni wa Jama ayuza, tulina sabuni anaago gwe bayita Lanzo bathing soap, tulina jjajja waffe gwe bayita Chapa Mandashi baking powder, ababekinga mwenna njogo Chapa Mandashi mamanyi kye bantegeeza. Tulina omukulu agenda nagwe ku kya food basket, awo tulinawo kabuto ke bayita Rinsan sunflower oil.
Wow. Nkalaba katale, nkalaba.
Tulina 20 pepper mu bika eby'enjawulo. Ebintu byaffe bisangibwa mu maduuka gonna, mu supermarkets zonna okwetooloola eggwanga lyonna. So wona wobisanze wonna wagira Chapa General Enterprises, wagira kutumbula ebyobulamuzi mu Uganda.
Tweyanziza nnyo muganda waffe Dennis okuva mu Chapa. Okuliraana omugagga ataddiza oliraana omuti ogw'empumbu. Kuba guba gukuddiza empumbu. Ndowooza Chapa General Enterprise mulina ogiwagira kuba mu bantu abangi ba service providers abangi be muwagira be muwa ssente zammwe, ate si bangi abaddiza abantu kubanga okuddiza guba mwoyo n'owuwo akumma. Tubeebaza aba Chapa okuba nga basobola okuddiza abantu. Tell us more about Super Paradise Hotel, and you can give a general advice to the hoteliers in the country as far as tourism is concerned.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you very much. Super Paradise, as I said, is a one-stop, is like a town. It has most of the services you'll need: sauna, steam, gym, massage, conference rooms, bar, restaurant. We do also outside catering parties. We also have a package for the coming holidays for Eid Mubarak. We'll have special menus here to celebrate, entertainment for the kids. We also have discounts for the rooms. And as Easter also, Easter we also have special menus for families, entertainment, and special discounts in the rooms. So when you come here with your family and friends, you'll have the best. You are very welcome.
Thank you very much, Comrade Francis. Thank you very much, Comrade Francis. I think I have witnessed the service offered at this place. Kakati eriyo mmwe baganda baffe ne bannyinaffe abali ku byeyo n'abali mawanga ag'enjawulo mweteekateeka okujja omwezi ogujja okulya Pasika oba Easter. Ojja kuwummulako mu Uganda, ojja kulya Pasika oba Easter. Nkuzigirira nti Super Paradise Hotel wane Mengo woba owummulira. Ekyenjawulo ekiri wano toginoonya, yeeraga yokka hoteri eno. Ne bw'ojja ng'ojjidde mu takisi oba ojjidde mu bigere, teweetaaga ate boda kutuusa gy'olaga. Takisi weekusuula oyingira buyingizi gate za Super Paradise Hotel. Ekitegeeza nti n'ebyokwerinda oba olina omugugu nabyo biri safe. So I must recommend Super Paradise Hotel. Mujje muwoomere ku bintu bino ffe bye tuwoomera.
And I want to thank you for this opportunity that you have brought us on board as traffic police. And as we continue to explore the Uganda'S hidden wealth, and I urge everyone, like I've said when I was talking, I said that road safety is a collective responsibility. Let us all play our part, or do what we are supposed to be doing. As drivers who drive these tourists in this country, please make sure at least your vehicle is in good mechanical condition. I have, Mr. Kasumba, I've seen most of these vehicles really, UAK, UAA. So let us make sure that our vehicles are very well maintained, because if this person comes, he will also come again and give you more, or even recommend you, or refer you to some other person, because your vehicle is well maintained and behave well and do really what is right on the road, well knowing that you are not only working on yourself, but also the entire country you're promoting it. As traffic police and above the director, we are really committed to promote the tourism industry of our country, and also pledge to always be part of this forum whenever I am called upon. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Afande Kananura. Polisi balina enjogera egamba nti yamba polisi naye kuyambe. Kyemuva mulabanga sometimes bakakanyala n'emigo ne gibayitako emigoba nte ndowooza muba nabo temubayambye, nabo ne bava mu mbeera kati bwe mubayamba chaotically or commotionally, nabo bajja bayamba mu ngeri eyo. Ndowooza kitukakatako nga bannayuganda okuba ne discipline mu disciplines ez'enjawulo ku nguudo. I've been driving for the last 30 years. I have never knocked anything on the road.
Good.
I drive to Kenya, I go as far as Chigari. I've been driving from one border to border. 30 years. I've never committed any accident. It's not because I'm a senior driver, but it's because I'm a bit committed and responsible on the road. Era sirina emyaka gyonna gye mvuze emmotoka sirina kipapula kyammwe kyonna. Even before you introduce this e-receipt and all that, sibangako na kipapula kyonna kya traffic. Ndowooza mwetaaga okugaba ku birabo nga mugabira ku bantu okuzza mu bantu abali responsible ngaffe. So omuntu afaanana bw'atyo ndowooza aba yanguyiza abantu bano emirimu. kyakubiri obeera respectinga ne ba road users abalala ndowooza omuntu avuga emmotoka bw'alaba ow'ebigere oba owa boda amulaba ng'ekitaliimu and that kind of indiscipline ndowooza bye bisinza okuleeta obuzibu so tuyambe poliisi naye tuyambe nga tutambuza emirimu gyaffe. Professor, say something as we conclude, please.
Thank you. As we conclude, I have heard my colleagues on the panel marketing their disciplines or their areas. I'm also going to market myself. Here I am not talking about I, Mwambusi and Davis as a person, but the whole discipline of humanities, which promotes culture. And I want to say that cultural tourism potential in Uganda is very, very huge. It needs to be developed. And therefore, those who are in charge of planning and coordinating tourism, they should take advantage of disciplines like history, anthropology, religious studies, sociology, fine art, music, dance, and drama, and approach them so that they can have their intellectual input into the promotion of cultural tourism. Let it not be taken for granted that everybody knows what is the heritage of Uganda. Not everybody knows. Not everybody knows the significance or the creative arts that are in Uganda and how they can be marketed, or music or whatever. There are certain experts, there are certain professionals that should be brought on board so that we can see how to package cultural tourism, because the biggest, as I mentioned earlier on, the biggest sector or type of tourism in the world is cultural tourism. And it is not expensive, and it is easy to carry around, rather than that somebody must hire an aeroplane to go to Bugindi or to Queen Elizabeth. Cultural tourism is here, and you can even bring it here so that people find it in these hotels, in these restaurants, in cultural centers, and we start making money that does not necessarily have depreciation, because culture actually appreciates by using it, not depreciating. You see, most things depreciate by use, but culture appreciates by use. So let's have this product and market it. And please, those who are in that industry, those who are in the private sector and would want to market issues of tourism, please contact experts. We are here. We also need to contribute towards tourism development.
Wow. Ate nyongereko ki akuddira mu luyimba taluwoomya. Abakugu boogedde buli omu mu sekita gy'akiikiridde, era mmanyi gwe azze ng'atugoberera okwetooloola ensonda zonna ennya ez'ensi olina ky'ofunyeemu. Tugamba nti tutandika butandisi, gano gakyali mabaga. Afande Kananura ono tugenda mukozesa nnyo okuyamba gwe omuvuzi w'ebidduka okutegeera disipulini w'ekkubo. Tuli mu mulembe omubi Afande Kananura nti abantu olwaleero asooka kugula mmotoka n'alyoka ayiga ogivuga. Ffe twayigira emmotoka nga tutuula mu bibiina ne batusomesa mu bibiina ne tusoma notes ne tusoma amateeka ate n'ogenda n'osoma practicals. Kati ku mulembe guno oli asooka kugula mmotoka n'ayigira mu ye be batuleetedde obuzibu era mwetaaga obbayamba ennyo. Pamiti bagulangule kwata ssente n'agenda n'asasula kwega tebitegeerekeka okufa kye kuvudde kweyongera naye nga tukulina n'ekitongole ky'okiikirira nga tukirina platform yiino ngazi okubanga tusensitizinga abantu. Buno obudde tebugulika ku TV. Oba osasula ssente empitirivu nnyo bugula, ffe tububaweeredde bwereere nga tutambula n'abatuteekamu ensimbi okukola omulimu guno. Era tusaba oyisomese tokoowa, tujja kunyiiza nnyo n'abantu bajja kunyiiza, ojja kufuna reactions embi okuva mu bantu naddala abo abadwangufu abasinga abali eyo, naye olina okusomesa kuba eyeeweza omumba gwe bazikuba. Mr. Francis, thank you very much for, and we appreciate, think, mwetaaga okwongera okutegeeza abantu bye mukola. Mulina siyaagi gwe mwagoba katale, sijja mwogera naye mulina siyaagi gwe mwagoba katale ne mubagobera ddala katale tetukyabalaba. Prestige kyonna kye mwatukola mwe mukimanyi, naye mwagoba abantu katale ekyo mukimanyi. Naye ndowooza guba mutindo si ddogo, omutindo gwe gwagoba bali abalala katale, era waliwo omukisa wano okusigala nga mutambula naffe n'okusingira ddala mu kanyomero aka ka food basket nga tebannabakaba pasulako. Thank you very much. Era we tunaabayitira wonna, please be part of this. To my senior comrade, Professor Ndebesa, you've always been part of this from the start, and you always be part of it till the end comes. I appreciate you. I know you're always having tight schedules from one meeting to the other, but you always take part whenever we need your contribution. Obadde oyogera ng'ogamba nti tebabakozesa. Bwe baba tebabakozesa baleke, Visit Uganda ejja kukozesa. Ate kirungi nti ezo platform ntonotono za kumpi. But for Visit Uganda, we are shooting worldwide. So your voice is widely reaching masses, and you're always part of this. We appreciate. To our viewers from around the world, thank you so very much. Thank you for keeping with us. Thank you for streaming live from wherever you are. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for suggesting, advising, and sharing your ideas towards Visit Uganda. What I can only encourage you guys, keep subscribing to our YouTube channel, that is Visit Uganda Tourism Show, ate ne TikTok, Instagram, X, ne Facebook, ate ne website yaffe mubenga mulaba ebintu ebigenda maaso mu Uganda n'okusingira ddala ebyobulambuzi. We encourage tourism investors from around the world to come and invest in Uganda in tourism sector. Uganda is always open. Uganda is peaceful despite what you see temporarily happening, but Uganda is peaceful. Mujje mu investinge mu ggwanga lyaffe, nammwe abali mu Uganda, bannayuganda mu investinge mu byobulambuzi. Ebyobulambuzi is the way to go. Thank you very much for attending this forum. Thank you for watching. I've got to go. I've got to let you go. God bless you. Bye-bye. Wow. Thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for hosting us. Thank you for hosting us.
Kananura.
Yes.
Wampo na promoting